Question 91. Which AWS services form the app-facing services of the AWS serverless infrastructure? Select two options. Now, the options are: Option 1. Amazon DynamoDB. Option 2. AWS Lambda. Option 3. Amazon API Gateway. Option 4. AWS Step Functions. Option 5. Amazon EFS. And the correct answer is Option 2. AWS Lambda. And Option 3. Amazon API Gateway. Explanation: AWS Lambda and Amazon API Gateway are both app-facing components of the AWS serverless infrastructure. AWS Step Functions is an orchestration service. AWS Lambda is the correct answer. Amazon API Gateway is also a correct answer. AWS Step Functions is incorrect. This is a serverless orchestration service. Amazon DynamoDB is incorrect. Amazon DynamoDB is a serverless database service. Databases are backend, not app-facing. Amazon EFS is incorrect. EFS is a file system. Typically, EFS is mounted by Amazon EC2 instances. Next question. Which AWS service enables developers and data scientists to build, train, and deploy machine learning models? Now, the options are: Option 1. Amazon MQ. Option 2. Amazon Recognition. Option 3. Amazon Comprehend. Option 4. Amazon SageMaker. And the correct answer is Option 4. Amazon SageMaker. Explanation: Amazon SageMaker is a fully managed platform that enables developers and data scientists to quickly and easily build, train, and deploy machine learning models at any scale. Amazon SageMaker removes all the barriers that typically slow down developers who want to use machine learning. Amazon SageMaker is the correct answer. Amazon Recognition is incorrect. Amazon Recognition makes it easy to add image and video analysis to your applications. Amazon Comprehend is incorrect. Amazon Comprehend is a natural language processing (NLP) service that uses machine learning to find insights and relationships in text. Amazon MQ is incorrect. Amazon MQ is a managed message broker service for Apache ActiveMQ that makes it easy to set up and operate message brokers in the cloud. Next question. Which DynamoDB feature provides in-memory acceleration to tables that result in significant performance improvements? Now the options are: Option 1. Amazon EFS. Option 2. Amazon ElastiCache. Option 3. Amazon CloudFront. Option 4. Amazon DynamoDB Accelerator DAX. And the correct answer is Option 4. Amazon DynamoDB Accelerator DAX. Explanation: Amazon DynamoDB Accelerator DAX is a fully managed, highly available in-memory cache for DynamoDB that delivers up to a 10x performance improvement from milliseconds to microseconds, even at millions of requests per second. DAX does all the heavy lifting required to add in-memory acceleration to your DynamoDB tables without requiring developers to manage cache invalidation, data population, or cluster management. Amazon DynamoDB Accelerator DAX is the correct answer. Amazon ElastiCache is incorrect. This service is also an in-memory cache, but it is not a feature of DynamoDB. Amazon EFS is incorrect. This is an elastic file system based on the NFS protocol. Amazon CloudFront is incorrect. This is a content delivery network for caching content. Next question. Which service can you use to monitor, store, and access log files generated by EC2 instances and on-premises servers? Now the options are: Option 1. Amazon Kinesis. Option 2. AWS OpsWorks. Option 3. Amazon CloudWatch Logs. Option 4. AWS CloudTrail. And the correct answer is Option 3. Amazon CloudWatch Logs. Explanation: You can use Amazon CloudWatch Logs to monitor, store, and access your log files from Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon EC2 instances, AWS CloudTrail, Route 53, and other sources. You can then retrieve the associated log data from CloudWatch Logs. Amazon CloudWatch Logs is the correct answer. AWS CloudTrail is incorrect. AWS CloudTrail is used for recording a history of API actions taken on your account. AWS OpsWorks is incorrect. OpsWorks is a configuration management service. Amazon Kinesis is incorrect. Amazon Kinesis is a set of services used for collecting, processing, and analyzing streaming data. Next question. What is the relationship between subnets and availability zones? Now the options are: Option 1. Subnets contain one or more availability zones. Option 2. Subnets span across multiple availability zones. Option 3. You can create one subnet per availability zone. Option 4. You can create one or more subnets within each availability zone. And the correct answer is option 4. You can create one or more subnets within each availability zone. Explanation. You can create one or more subnets within each availability zone, but subnets cannot span across availability zones. You can create one or more subnets within each availability zone is the correct answer. Subnets span across multiple availability zones is incorrect, as they are contained within a single AZ. You can create one subnet per availability zone is incorrect, as you can create many subnets per AZ. Subnets contain one or more availability zones is incorrect, as they are created within a single AZ. Next question. When designing a VPC, what is the purpose of an internet gateway? Now the options are: Option 1. It's used for making VPN connections to a VPC. Option 2. Provides internet access for EC2 instances in private subnets. Option 3. It's a bastion host for inbound management connections. Option 4. Enables internet communications for instances in public subnets. And the correct answer is option 4. Enables internet communications for instances in public subnets. Explanation. An internet gateway is a horizontally scaled, redundant, and highly available VPC component that allows communication between instances in your VPC and the internet. It therefore imposes no availability risk or bandwidth constraints on your network traffic. An internet gateway serves two purposes: to provide a target in your VPC route tables for internet routable traffic, and to perform network address translation (NAT) for instances that have been assigned public IPv4 addresses. Enables internet communications for instances in public subnets is the correct answer. Provides internet access for EC2 instances in private subnets is incorrect. You cannot connect instances in a private subnet to the internet using an internet gateway. You need a NAT gateway or NAT instance for this purpose. It's a bastion host for inbound management connections is incorrect. You cannot use an internet gateway as a bastion host. Deploy an EC2 instance in a public subnet for this purpose. It's used for making VPN connections to a VPC is incorrect. You cannot use the internet gateway for making VPN connections to a VPC. You need a virtual private gateway for this purpose. Next question. What are two correct statements about AWS organizations with consolidated billing? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. Volume pricing discounts applied across multiple accounts. Option 2. CloudTrail can be configured per organization. Option 3. One bill provided for multiple accounts. Option 4. Multiple bills are provided per organization. Option 5. Linked accounts lose their management independence. And the correct answer is option 1. Volume pricing discounts applied across multiple accounts. And option 3. One bill provided for multiple accounts. Explanation. With AWS organizations, you create a paying account and linked accounts. One bill is provided for multiple accounts within an organization. Volume pricing discounts can be applied across resources in multiple accounts. One bill provided for multiple accounts is the correct answer. Volume pricing discounts applied across multiple accounts is also a correct answer. Multiple bills are provided per organization is incorrect, as one bill is provided for multiple accounts within an organization. Linked accounts lose their management independence is incorrect. Linked accounts can still be managed independently. CloudTrail can be configured per organization is incorrect. CloudTrail is on a per account basis and per region basis, but can be aggregated into a single bucket in the paying account. Next question. A company needs protection from distributed denial of service DDoS attacks on its website and assistance from AWS experts during such events. Which AWS managed service will meet these requirements? Now the options are: Option 1, Amazon Guard Duty. Option 2, AWS Shield Advanced. Option 3, AWS Firewall Manager. Option 4, AWS Web Application Firewall. And the correct answer is Option 2, AWS Shield Advanced. Explanation: AWS Shield Advanced provides enhanced detection and includes a specialized support team for customers on enterprise or business support plans. The AWS DDoS Response Team (DRT) are available 24/7 and can be engaged before, during, or after a DDoS attack. AWS Shield Advanced is the correct answer. AWS Firewall Manager is incorrect. This service is used to simplify management of AWS WAF, AWS Shield Advanced, and Amazon VPC security groups. AWS Web Application Firewall is incorrect. AWS WAF is used for protecting web applications and APIs against malicious attacks. This is not a DDoS prevention service. Amazon Guard Duty is incorrect. This service is used for continuously monitoring AWS resources for threats. It is not a DDoS prevention service. It uses machine learning and anomaly detection to identify security vulnerabilities in resources. Next question. Which AWS IAM best practice recommends applying the minimum permissions necessary to perform a task when creating IAM policies? Now the options are: Option 1, create individual IAM users. Option 2, grant least privilege. Option 3, enable MFA for privileged users. Option 4, use roles to delegate permissions. And the correct answer is Option 2, grant least privilege. Explanation: when you create IAM policies, follow the standard security advice of granting least privilege. That is, granting only the permissions required to perform a task. Determine what users need to do and then craft policies for them that let the users perform only those tasks. The other answer are all valid best practices but are not related to applying minimum permissions to IAM policies. Grant least privilege is the correct answer. Create individual IAM users is incorrect. Use roles to delegate permissions is incorrect. Enable MFA for privileged users is incorrect. Next question. Which AWS support plan provides email-only support by Cloud Support Associates? Now the options are: Option 1, Business. Option 2, Basic. Option 3, Developer. Option 4, Enterprise. And the correct answer is Option 3, Developer. Explanation: Developer provides email support by the Cloud Support Associates team, whereas Business and Enterprise provide email 24/7 phone and shared access to cloud support engineers. Basic does not provide email support at all. Developer is the correct answer. Basic is incorrect. Business is incorrect. Enterprise is incorrect answer. Next question. Which of the following descriptions is incorrect in relation to the design of availability zones? Now the options are: Option 1, each AZ is designed as an independent failure zone. Option 2, each subnet in a VPC is mapped to all AZs in the region. Option 3, AZs are physically separated within a typical metropolitan region and are located in lower risk floodplains. Option 4, AZs have direct, low latency, high throughput and redundant network connections between each other. And the correct answer is Option 2, each subnet in a VPC is mapped to all AZs in the region. Explanation: subnets are created within a single AZ and do not get mapped to multiple AZs. Each subnet in a VPC is mapped to all AZs in the region is the correct answer. AZs have direct low latency, high throughput and redundant network connections between each other is incorrect, as this is true. Each AZ is designed as an independent failure zone is incorrect, as this is true. AZs are physically separated within a typical metropolitan region and are located in lower risk floodplains is incorrect, as this is true. Next question. Which service runs your application code only when needed without needing to run servers? Now the options are: Option 1, AWS Light Sail. Option 2, Amazon ECS. Option 3, AWS Lambda. Option 4, Amazon EC2. And the correct answer is option 3, AWS Lambda. Explanation. AWS Lambda is a serverless service that runs code as functions. That means that your code is run when needed, but there are no servers running, at least not servers that you see or manage. This reduces cost and operational overhead. AWS Lambda is the correct answer. Amazon EC2 is incorrect. Amazon EC2 is used for running server instances, so this is an incorrect answer. Amazon ECS is incorrect. Amazon ECS is used for running Docker containers, which do need to run waiting for request. AWS Light Sail is incorrect. AWS Light Sail is a service that is used for running virtual instances and databases using a simplified user interface for users who are less experienced with AWS, also at a much lower cost than EC2. Next question. Which service is used to introduce fault tolerance into an application architecture? Now the options are: Option 1, Amazon CloudFront. Option 2, Amazon ElastiCache. Option 3, Amazon DynamoDB. Option 4, Amazon Elastic Load Balancing. And the correct answer is option 4, Amazon Elastic Load Balancing. Explanation. Amazon Elastic Load Balancing is used to spread load and introduce fault tolerance by distributing connections across multiple identically configured backend EC2 instances. Amazon Elastic Load Balancing is the correct answer. Amazon CloudFront is incorrect. Amazon CloudFront is a content delivery network that is used for caching content and serving it to web-based users quickly. Amazon ElastiCache is incorrect. Amazon ElastiCache is an in-memory database cache and is used to introduce improved performance rather than fault tolerance. Amazon DynamoDB is incorrect. Amazon DynamoDB is fault tolerant. However, it is not something you add to an architecture to introduce fault tolerance to the application stack. Next question. A developer needs a way to automatically provision a collection of AWS resources. Which AWS service is primarily used for deploying infrastructure as code? Now the options are: Option 1, Jenkins. Option 2, AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Option 3, AWS CloudFormation. Option 4, AWS Code Deploy. And the correct answer is option 3, AWS CloudFormation. Explanation. AWS CloudFormation is a service that gives developers and businesses an easy way to create a collection of related AWS resources and provision them in an orderly and predictable fashion. AWS CloudFormation provides a common language for you to describe and provision all the infrastructure resources in your cloud environment. Think of CloudFormation as deploying infrastructure as code. AWS CloudFormation is the correct answer. AWS Elastic Beanstalk is incorrect. Elastic Beanstalk is more focused on deploying applications on EC2, PaaS. AWS Code Deploy is incorrect. AWS Code Deploy is a fully managed deployment service that automates software deployments to a variety of compute services, such as Amazon EC2, AWS Lambda, and your on-premises servers. Jenkins is incorrect. Jenkins deploys infrastructure as code, but is not an AWS service. Next question. Which AWS service is part of the suite of serverless services and runs code as functions? Now the options are: Option 1, Amazon ECS. Option 2, AWS Lambda. Option 3, Amazon EKS. Option 4, AWS Code Commit. And the correct answer is option 2, AWS Lambda. Explanation. AWS Lambda is a serverless compute service that runs your code in response to events and automatically manages the underlying compute resources for you. The code you run on AWS Lambda is called a Lambda function. AWS Lambda is the correct answer. Amazon ECS is incorrect. Amazon ECS is used for running software containers such as Docker containers. Amazon EKS is incorrect. Amazon EKS is used for managing software containers such as Docker containers. AWS Code Commit is incorrect. AWS Code Commit is a fully managed source control service that hosts secure Git-based repositories. Question 106. Which of the following would be good reasons to move from on-premises to the AWS cloud? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. Outsource all security responsibility. Option 2. Improve agility and elasticity. Option 3. Gain access to free technical support services. Option 4. Gain end-to-end operational management of the entire infrastructure stack. Option 5. Reduce cost through easier right-sizing of workloads. And the correct answer is Option 2. Improve agility and elasticity. And Option 5. Reduce cost through easier right-sizing of workloads. Explanation. There are many benefits to moving to the AWS cloud, and these include reducing cost through right-sizing workloads. This is easier with elastic computing and the ability to easily adjust workloads, monitor utilization, and programmatically make changes. You can improve agility and elasticity through services such as auto-scaling, elastic load balancing, and highly scalable services such as S3 and Lambda. Reduce cost through easier right-sizing of workloads is a correct answer. Improve agility and elasticity is also a correct answer. Gain access to free technical support services is incorrect. You do not get free technical support services with AWS. Gain end-to-end operational management of the entire infrastructure stack is incorrect. You do not gain end-to-end operational management of your entire infrastructure stack. AWS manages the infrastructure and for some services the application too. Outsource all security responsibility is incorrect. You do not outsource all security responsibility with AWS. You are still responsible for ensuring the security of your applications, users, and data. Next question. An elastic IP address can be remapped between EC2 instances across which boundaries? Now the options are: Option 1. Availability zones. Option 2. Regions. Option 3. DB subnets. Option 4. Edge locations. And the correct answer is Option 1. Availability zones. Explanation. Elastic IP addresses are for use in a specific region only and can therefore only be remapped between instances within that region. You can use elastic IP addresses to mask the failure of an instance in one availability zone by rapidly remapping the address to an instance in another availability zone. Availability zones is the correct answer. Regions is incorrect as you cannot remap across regions. Edge locations is incorrect. Edge locations are used by CloudFront and are not places where you can run EC2 instances. DB subnets is incorrect. DB subnets groups are used by the RDS relational database service and are not used for running EC2 instances. Next question. Which type of Amazon RDS automated backup allows you to restore the database with a granularity of as little as 5 minutes? Now the options are: Option 1. Point-in-time recovery. Option 2. Incremental backup. Option 3. Snapshot backup. Option 4. Full backup. And the correct answer is Option 1. Point-in-time recovery. Explanation. You can restore an Amazon RDS database instance to a specific point in time with a granularity of 5 minutes. Amazon RDS uses transaction logs which it uploads to Amazon S3 to do this. Point-in-time recovery is the correct answer. Snapshot backup is incorrect. This is not a point-in-time backup with 5-minute granularity. Full backup is incorrect. This just describes taking a fully backup of the database, typically with backup software. Incremental backup is incorrect. This describes taking a backup of items that have changed since the last backup. Next question. Which of the following must be used together to gain programmatic access to an AWS account? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. A primary key. Option 2. An access key ID. Option 3. A user ID. Option 4. A secondary key. Option 5. A secret access key. And the correct answer is Option 2. An access key ID and Option 5. a secret access key. Explanation. Access keys are long-term credentials for an IAM user or the AWS account root user. You can use access keys to sign programmatic requests to the AWS CLI or AWS API directly or using the AWS SDK. Access keys consist of two parts, an access key ID and a secret access key. Like a username and password, you must use both the access key ID and secret access keys together to authenticate your request. Manage your access keys as securely as you do your username and password. An access key ID is the correct answer. A secret access key is the correct answer. A primary key is incorrect. Primary keys are not associated with authentication. A user ID is incorrect. A user ID is used to log on using the AWS Management Console, not programmatically. A secondary key is incorrect. Secondary keys are not associated with authentication. Next question. With which service can a developer upload code using a zip or WAR file and have the service handle the end-to-end deployment of the resources? Now the options are: Option 1, AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Option 2, Amazon ECS. Option 3, AWS Code Commit. Option 4, AWS Code Deploy. And the correct answer is Option 1, AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Explanation. AWS Elastic Beanstalk can be used to quickly deploy and manage applications in the AWS cloud. Developers upload applications and Elastic Beanstalk handles the deployment details of capacity provisioning, load balancing, auto-scaling, and application health monitoring. You can upload code directly using a zip or WAR file. You can also use a Git archive. AWS Elastic Beanstalk is the correct answer. AWS Code Deploy is incorrect. AWS Code Deploy is a fully managed deployment service that automates software deployments to a variety of compute services such as Amazon EC2, AWS Lambda, and on-premises servers. Amazon ECS is incorrect. Amazon Elastic Container Service is a managed service for running Docker containers. AWS Code Commit is incorrect. AWS Code Commit is a fully managed source control service that hosts secure Git-based repositories. It doesn't actually automate the build of the code or infrastructure on which it runs. Next question. A cloud practitioner needs to decrease application latency and increase performance for globally distributed users. Which services can assist? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1, Amazon Elastic Cache. Option 2, Amazon App Stream 2.0. Option 3, Amazon S3. Option 4, Amazon ECS. Option 5, Amazon CloudFront. And the correct answer is Option 3, Amazon S3, and Option 5, Amazon CloudFront. Explanation. Amazon S3 is an object-based storage system. It can be used to store data such as files and images that need to be served. Optionally, an S3 bucket can be configured as a static website. Amazon CloudFront is a content delivery network CDN that caches content at edge locations around the world. These two services can work together with an S3 bucket configured as an origin for the CloudFront distribution. Users around the world will then be able to pull the content from the local edge location with lower latency and better performance. Amazon S3 is a correct answer. Amazon CloudFront is also a correct answer. Amazon ECS is incorrect. The Elastic Container Services ECS is used for running Docker containers on AWS. This is not going to help with reducing latency or increasing performance for global users. Amazon App Stream 2.0 is incorrect. This is an application streaming service for streaming applications to computers. It is unsuitable for these requirements. Amazon Elastic Cache is incorrect. Elastic Cache caches data from a database in memory. It is suitable for these requirements. Next question. A cloud practitioner is developing a disaster recovery plan and intends to replicate data between multiple geographic areas. Which of the following meets these requirements? Now the options are: Option 1, edge locations. Option 2, AWS accounts. Option 3, availability zones. Option 4, AWS regions. And the correct answer is option 4, AWS regions. Explanation: AWS has the concept of a region, which is a physical location around the world where we cluster data centers. We call each group of logical data centers an availability zone. Each AWS region consists of multiple isolated and physically separate AZs within a geographic area. Therefore, the cloud practitioner should replicate data between multiple regions, as these are separate geographical areas. AWS regions is the correct answer. AWS accounts is incorrect. An account is not a geographic area. Availability zones is incorrect. AZs are within a region, not across geographical areas. Edge locations is incorrect. These are not locations to which you can replicate your data. They are used primarily by Amazon CloudFront for caching content, not for disaster recovery. Next question. An application that is deployed across multiple availability zones could be described as. Now the options are: Option 1, being highly available. Option 2, being secure. Option 3, having global reach. Option 4, having elasticity. And the correct answer is option 1, being highly available. Explanation: when you deploy an application across multiple availability zones, the application can be considered to be highly available. You must also have a way of directing traffic to the application in each AZ, such as an elastic load balancer. The diagram below depicts an example of a highly available application deployed on EC2 instances in multiple AZs and using an ELB to direct traffic. Being highly available is the correct answer. Having global reach is incorrect, as this refers to deploying applications that can be connected to from around the world and also deploying applications into different regions. Being secure is incorrect, as this is not an example of the implementation of security. Having elasticity is incorrect. Auto-scaling is an example of elasticity, and it is not mentioned in this question. Next question. Assuming you have configured them correctly, which AWS services can scale automatically without intervention? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1, Amazon S3. Option 2, Amazon DynamoDB. Option 3, Amazon EBS. Option 4, Amazon RDS. Option 5, Amazon EC2. And the correct answer is option 1, Amazon S3. And option 2, Amazon DynamoDB. Explanation: both S3 and DynamoDB automatically scale as demand dictates. In the case of DynamoDB, you can either configure the on-demand or provisioned capacity mode. With on-demand capacity mode, DynamoDB automatically adjusts the read and write throughput for you. EBS and RDS do not scale automatically. You must intervene to adjust volume sizes and database instance types to scale these resources. Amazon S3 is the correct answer. Amazon DynamoDB is also a correct answer. Amazon RDS is incorrect. Amazon EC2 is incorrect. EC2 cannot scale automatically. You need to use auto-scaling to scale the number of EC2 instances deployed. Amazon EBS is incorrect. Next question. Which services allow you to store files on AWS? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1, Amazon Lightsail. Option 2, Amazon EFS. Option 3, AWS Lambda. Option 4, Amazon SQS. Option 5, Amazon EBS. And the correct answer is option 2, Amazon EFS. And option 5, Amazon EBS. Explanation: you can store files on the Elastic Block Store EBS and Elastic File System EFS. EBS volumes are mounted as block devices to EC2 instances, and EFS volumes are mounted to the instance using the NFS protocol. Amazon EBS is the correct answer. Amazon EFS is also a correct answer. AWS Lambda is incorrect. AWS Lambda is a compute service for running code as functions. Amazon Lightsail is incorrect. Amazon Lightsail is a compute service for running instances. Amazon SQS is incorrect. Amazon Simple Queue Service SQS is a message bus for temporarily storing data that is being passed between application components. Next question. Which of the following are advantages of using the AWS cloud computing over legacy IT? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. You don't need to patch your operating systems. Option 2. You can bring new applications to market faster. Option 3. You are able to pass responsibility for the availability of your application to AWS. Option 4. You don't need to worry about over-provisioning as you can elastically scale. Option 5. You can bring services closer to your end users. And the correct answer is Option 2. You can bring new applications to market faster. And Option 4. You don't need to worry about over-provisioning as you can elastically scale. Explanation. With cloud computing, you no longer need to guess about capacity as you can elastically scale. This means you don't end up over-provisioning but instead react to the load on your servers. You can also be faster and more agile with development and release of applications. You don't need to worry about over-provisioning as you can elastically scale is correct answer. You can bring new applications to market faster is also a correct answer. You are able to pass responsibility for the availability of your application to AWS is incorrect. You do not pass responsibility for your application to AWS. AWS runs the infrastructure but you still manage the application. You don't need to patch your operating systems is incorrect. You still need to patch your own operating systems. You can bring services closer to your end users is incorrect. The cloud is centralized, so you won't necessarily bring services closer to your end users. Next question. A company wants to utilize a pay-as-you-go cloud model for all of their applications without capex cost and which is highly elastic. Which cloud delivery model will suit them best? Now the options are: Option 1. Hybrid. Option 2. Private. Option 3. On-premise. Option 4. Public. And the correct answer is Option 4. Public. Explanation. The public cloud is offered under a purely pay-as-you-go model unless you choose to reserve and allows companies to completely avoid capex cost. The public cloud is also highly elastic, so companies can grow and shrink the applications as demand changes. Private and on-premise clouds are essentially the same, though both could be managed by a third party and even could be delivered under an OpEx model by some vendors. However, they are typically more capex heavy and the elasticity is limited. A hybrid model combines public and private, and this company wants to go all in on a single model. Public is the correct answer. Private is incorrect. Hybrid is incorrect. On-premise is incorrect. Next question. To reward customers for using their services, what are two ways AWS reduce prices? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. Volume-based discounts when you use more services. Option 2. Reduced cost for reserved capacity. Option 3. Reduction in inbound data transfer charges. Option 4. Removal of termination fees for customers who spend more. Option 5. Discounts for using a wider variety of services. And the correct answer is Option 1. Volume-based discounts when you use more services. And Option 2. Reduced cost for reserved capacity. Explanation. AWS provide volume-based discount so that when you use more services, you reduce the cost per service. You can also reserve capacity by locking into fixed 1 or 3 year contracts to get significant discounts. You never pay for inbound data transfer. You don't get discounts for using a variety of services. Only when you use more services. There are never termination fees with AWS. Volume-based discounts when you use more services is the correct answer. Reduced cost for reserved capacity is the correct answer. Reduction in inbound data transfer charges is incorrect. Discounts for using a wider variety of services is incorrect. Removal of termination fees for customers who spend more is incorrect. Next question. How can a company protect their Amazon S3 data from a regional disaster? Now the options are: Option 1. Use lifecycle actions to move to another S3 storage class. Option 2. Use cross-region replication CRR to copy to another region. Option 3. Enable multi-factor authentication MFA delete. Option 4. Archive to Amazon Glacier. And the correct answer is Option 2. Use cross-region replication to copy to another region. Explanation. Cross-region replication is used to copy objects across Amazon S3 buckets in different AWS regions. The only option here that will help is to use CRR to copy the data to another region. This will provide disaster recovery. Use cross-region replication to copy to another region is the correct answer. Archive to Amazon Glacier is incorrect. Moving to Glacier does not copy the data out of the region. Use lifecycle actions to move to another S3 storage class is incorrect, as this will not move the data to another region. Enable multi-factor authentication delete is incorrect. Enabling MFA delete will not protect the data from a regional disaster. Next question. Which of the following Amazon EC2 pricing models allows customer to use existing server-bound software licenses? Now the options are: Option 1. Reserved instances. Option 2. Dedicated host. Option 3. On-demand instances. Option 4. Spot instances. And the correct answer is Option 2. Dedicated host. Explanation. Amazon EC2 dedicated host allow you to use your eligible software licenses from vendors such as Microsoft and Oracle on Amazon EC2 so that you get the flexibility and cost effectiveness of using your own licenses, but with the resiliency, simplicity and elasticity of AWS. An Amazon EC2 dedicated host is a physical server fully dedicated for your use, so you can help address corporate compliance requirements. Dedicated host is the correct answer. On-demand instances is incorrect. This is a standard pricing model and does not offer the advantages requested. Spot instances is incorrect. This is used to obtain discounted pricing for short-term requirements that can be interrupted. Reserved instances is incorrect. This is used to lower cost by reserving uses of an instance for a term of 1 or 3 years. Question 321. What are the primary benefits of using AWS Elastic Load Balancing? Select 2 options. Now the options are: Option 1. Regional resilience. Option 2. High availability. Option 3. Caching. Option 4. Automation. Option 5. Elasticity. And the correct answer is Option 2. High availability. And Option 5. Elasticity. Explanation. High availability. ELB automatically distributes traffic across multiple EC2 instances in different AZs within a region. Elasticity. ELB is capable of handling rapid changes in network traffic patterns. High availability is a correct answer. Elasticity is also a correct answer. Automation is incorrect. Automation is not a primary benefit of ELB. Caching is incorrect. Caching is not a benefit of ELB. Regional resilience is incorrect. An ELB can distribute incoming traffic across your Amazon EC2 instances in a single availability zone or multiple availability zones, but not across regions for regional resilience. Next question. What charges are applicable to Amazon S3 standard storage class? Select 2 options. Now the options are: Option 1. Per GB month storage fee. Option 2. Data ingress. Option 3. Data egress. Option 4. Retrieval fee. Option 5. Minimum capacity charge per object. And the correct answer is Option 1. Per GB month storage fee. And Option 3. Data egress. Explanation. With the standard storage class, you pay a per GB month storage fee and data transfer out of S3. Standard IA and one zone IA have a minimum capacity charge per object. Standard IA, one zone IA and Glacier also have a retrieval fee. You don't pay for data into S3 under any storage class. Per GB month storage fee is the correct answer. Data egress is the correct answer. Retrieval fee is incorrect. Minimum capacity charge per object is incorrect. Data ingress is incorrect. Next question. Which service provides alerts and remediation guidance when AWS is experiencing events that may impact you? Now the options are: Option 1. AWS Personal Health Dashboard. Option 2. AWS Inspector. Option 3. AWS Trusted Advisor. Option 4. AWS Shield. And the correct answer is Option 1. AWS Personal Health Dashboard. Explanation. AWS Personal Health Dashboard provides alerts and remediation guidance when AWS is experiencing events that may impact you. AWS Personal Health Dashboard is the correct answer. AWS Trusted Advisor is incorrect. Trusted Advisor is an online resource that helps to reduce cost, increase performance, and improve security by optimizing your AWS environment. AWS Inspector is incorrect. Inspector is an automated security assessment service that helps improve the security and compliance of applications deployed on AWS. AWS Shield is incorrect. AWS Shield is a managed distributed denial of service DDoS protection service. Next question. What is the name of the online self-service portal that AWS provides to enable customers to view reports and search as PCI reports and accept agreements? Now the options are: Option 1. AWS Documentation Portal. Option 2. AWS Compliance Portal. Option 3. AWS Artifact. Option 4. AWS DocuFact. And the correct answer is Option 3. AWS Artifact. Explanation. AWS Artifact is your go-to central resource for compliance-related information that matters to you. It provides on-demand access to AWS, security, and compliance reports and select online agreements. Reports available in AWS Artifact include our Service Organization Control SOC reports, Payment Card Industry PCI reports, and certifications from accreditation bodies across geographies and compliance verticals that validate the implementation and operating effectiveness of AWS security controls. Agreements available in AWS Artifact include the Business Associate Addendum BAA and the Non-Disclosure Agreement NDA. AWS Artifact is the correct answer. AWS Compliance Portal is incorrect, as this is not a real service. AWS Documentation Portal is incorrect, as this is not a real service. AWS DocuFact is incorrect, as this is not a real service. Next question. Which service is used for caching data? Now the options are: Option 1. Amazon DynamoDB DAX. Option 2. AWS Key Management Service KMS. Option 3. Amazon Elastic File System EFS. Option 4. Amazon Simple Queue Service SQS. And the correct answer is Option 1. Amazon DynamoDB DAX. Explanation. Amazon DynamoDB Accelerator is a fully managed, highly available in-memory cache for DynamoDB that delivers up to a 10x performance improvement from milliseconds to microseconds, even at millions of requests per second. Amazon DynamoDB DAX is the correct answer. Amazon Simple Queue Service is incorrect. Amazon Simple Queue Service is a fully managed message queuing service that enables you to decouple and scale microservices, distributed systems, and serverless applications. Amazon Key Management Service KMS is incorrect. AWS Key Management Service KMS makes it easy for you to create and manage keys and control the use of encryption across a wide range of AWS services and in your applications. Amazon Elastic File System EFS is incorrect. Amazon Elastic File System Amazon EFS provides a simple, scalable elastic file system for Linux-based workloads for use with AWS cloud services and on-premises resources. Next question. Which AWS technology enables you to group resources that share one or more tags? Now the options are option 1, organization groups, option 2, resource groups, option 3, consolidation groups, option 4, tag groups. And the correct answer is option 2, resource groups. Explanation. You can use resource groups to organize your AWS resources. Resource groups make it easier to manage and automate tasks on large numbers of resources at one time. Resource groups make it easy to group resources using the tags that are assigned to them. You can group resources that share one or more tags. Resource groups is the correct answer. Tag groups is incorrect as this is not a feature. Organization groups is incorrect as this is not a feature. Consolidation groups is incorrect as this is not a feature. Next question. Where do Amazon Identity and Access Management IAM accounts need to be created for a global organization? Now the options are option 1, in each region where the users are located. Option 2, just create them once as the IAM is a global service. Option 3, create them globally and then replicate them regionally. Option 4, in each geographical area where the users are located. And the correct answer is option 2, just create them once as IAM is a global service. Explanation. IAM is a global service, so you only need to create your users once and can then use those user accounts anywhere globally. The other options are all incorrect, as you do not create IAM accounts regionally, replicate them regionally, or create them within geographical areas. Just create them once as IAM is a global service is the correct answer. In each region where the users are located is incorrect, as explained above. Create them globally and then replicate them regionally is incorrect. In each geographical area where the users are located is incorrect. Next question. Your company has recently migrated to AWS. How can your CTO monitor the organization's cost? Now the options are option 1, AWS Cost Explorer, option 2, AWS Consolidated Billing, option 3, AWS Simple Monthly Calculator, option 4, AWS Cloud Trail. And the correct answer is option 1, AWS Cost Explorer. Explanation. AWS Cost Explorer enables you to visualize your usage patterns over time and to identify your underlying cost drivers. AWS Cost Explorer is the correct answer. AWS Cloud Trail is incorrect. AWS Cloud Trail provides a record of API activity in your account, that is, who did what to which resource. AWS Consolidated Billing is incorrect. AWS Consolidated Billing is a feature of AWS organizations that allows you to consolidate billing across multiple linked accounts and benefit from volume pricing discounts. AWS Simple Monthly Calculator is incorrect. AWS Simple Monthly Calculator shows you how much you would pay in AWS if you move your resources. Next question. The AWS cost management tools give users the ability to do which of the following? Select two options. Now the options are option 1, switch automatically to reserved instances or spot instances, whichever is most cost effective. Option 2, create budgets and receive notifications if current or forecasted usage exceeds the budgets. Option 3, break down AWS cost by day, service and linked AWS account. Option 4, terminate all AWS resources automatically if budget thresholds are exceeded. Option 5, move data stored in Amazon S3 to a more cost-effective storage class. And the correct answer is option 2, create budgets and receive notifications if current or forecasted usage exceeds the budgets. And option 3, break down AWS cost by day, service and linked AWS account. Explanation. AWS has a set of solutions to help you with the cost management and optimization. This includes services, tools and resources to organize and track cost and uses data, enhance control through consolidated billing and access permission, enable better planning through budgeting and forecast, and further lower cost with resources and pricing optimizations. However, these tools do not terminate resources, manipulate resources, or make changes to pricing models. Break down AWS cost by day, service, and linked AWS account is the correct answer. Create budgets and receive notifications if current or forecast usage exceeds the budgets is the correct answer. Terminate all AWS resources automatically if budget thresholds are exceeded is incorrect. Switch automatically to reserved instances or spot instances, whichever is most cost effective, is incorrect. Next question. What is the easiest way to store a backup of an EBS volume on Amazon S3? Now the options are: Option 1. Create a snapshot of the volume. Option 2. Use S3 lifecycle actions to back up the volume. Option 3. Use Amazon Kinesis to process the data and store the results in S3. Option 4. Write a custom script to copy the data into a bucket. And the correct answer is Option 1. Create a snapshot of the volume. Explanation. You can back up the data on your Amazon EBS volumes to Amazon S3 by taking point-in-time snapshots. Snapshots are incremental backup, which means that only the blocks on the device that have changed after your most recent snapshot are saved. Create a snapshot of the volume is the correct answer. Write a custom script to copy the data into a bucket is incorrect. Writing a custom script could work but would not be the easiest method. Use S3 lifecycle actions to back up the volume is incorrect. You cannot apply S3 lifecycle actions to EBS volumes. Use Amazon Kinesis to process the data and store the results in S3 is incorrect. Amazon Kinesis is used for processing streaming data, not data in EBS volumes. Next question. Your manager has asked you to explain some of the security features available in the AWS cloud. How can you describe the function of an Amazon Cloud HSM? Now the options are: Option 1. It is a public key infrastructure, PKI. Option 2. It is a firewall for use with web applications. Option 3. It can be used to generate, use and manage encryption keys in the cloud. Option 4. It provides server-side encryption for S3 objects. And the correct answer is Option 3. It can be used to generate, use and manage encryption keys in the cloud. Explanation. AWS Cloud HSM is a cloud-based hardware security module HSM that allows you to easily add secure keys storage and high-performance crypto operations to your AWS applications. Cloud HSM has no upfront cost and provides the ability to start and stop HSM on demand, allowing you to provision capacity when and where it is needed quickly and cost-effectively. Cloud HSM is a managed service that automates time-consuming administrative tasks, such as hardware provisioning, software patching, high availability, and backups. It can be used to generate, use and manage encryption keys in the cloud is the correct answer. It provides server-side encryption for S3 objects is incorrect. Cloud HSM performs key management but it does not perform encryption of S3 objects. It is a public key infrastructure, PKI, is incorrect. It can be used to generate asymmetric keys, however, it is not a PKI. It is a firewall for use with web applications is incorrect, as it does not provide any firewall functionally. Next question. Which AWS security tool uses an agent installed in EC2 instances and assess applications for vulnerabilities and deviations from best practices? Now the options are: Option 1. AWS Personal Health Dashboard. Option 2. AWS Inspector. Option 3. AWS TCO Calculator. Option 4. AWS Trusted Advisor. And the correct answer is Option 2. AWS Inspector. Explanation. Inspector is an automated security assessment service that helps improve the security and compliance of applications deployed on AWS. Inspector automatically assesses applications for vulnerabilities or deviations from best practices. Inspector uses an agent installed on EC2 instances. AWS Inspector is the correct answer. AWS Trusted Advisor is incorrect. Trusted Advisor is an online resource that helps to reduce cost increase performance and improve security by optimizing your AWS environment. AWS Personal Health Dashboard is incorrect. AWS Personal Health Dashboard provides alerts and remediation guidance when AWS is experiencing events that may impact you. AWS TCO calculator is incorrect. The AWS TCO calculator can be used to compare the cost of running your applications in an on-premises or colocation environment to AWS. Next question. Under the AWS shared responsibility model, who is responsible for what? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. Customers are responsible for edge locations. Option 2. Customers are responsible for compute infrastructure. Option 3. AWS are responsible for network and firewall configuration. Option 4. Customers are responsible for networking traffic protection. Option 5. AWS are responsible for networking infrastructure. And the correct answer is option 4. Customers are responsible for networking traffic protection. And option 5. AWS are responsible for networking infrastructure. Explanation. AWS is responsible for protecting the infrastructure that runs all of the services offered in the AWS cloud. Customers are responsible for security in the cloud and responsibilities vary by service. Customers are responsible for networking traffic protection. This includes applying encryption and using security groups and network ACLs. AWS are responsible for networking infrastructure. The underlying networking equipment is maintained by AWS. Customers are responsible for networking traffic protection is the correct answer. AWS are responsible for networking infrastructure is also a correct answer. Customers are responsible for compute infrastructure is incorrect. AWS are responsible for compute infrastructure. AWS are responsible for network and firewall configuration is incorrect. Customers are responsible for network and firewall configuration. Customers are responsible for edge locations is incorrect. AWS are responsible for edge locations. Next question. Which service allows you to monitor and troubleshoot systems using system and application log files generated by those systems? Now the options are: Option 1. CloudTrail logs. Option 2. CloudTrail metrics. Option 3. CloudWatch metrics. Option 4. CloudWatch logs. And the correct answer is option 4. CloudWatch logs. Explanation. Amazon CloudWatch logs lets you monitor and troubleshoot your system and applications using your existing system, application and custom log files. CloudWatch logs can be used for real-time application and system monitoring as well as long-term log retention. CloudWatch logs is the correct answer. CloudTrail logs is incorrect. CloudTrail is used for logging who does what in AWS by recording API calls. It is used for auditing, not performance or system operational monitoring. CloudWatch metrics is incorrect. CloudWatch metrics are the standard method by which CloudWatch collects data. CloudTrail metrics is incorrect. CloudTrail does not record metrics, it records logs. Next question. Which AWS service is suitable for an event-driven workload? Now the options are: Option 1. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Option 2. Amazon Lumberyard. Option 3. Amazon EC2. Option 4. AWS Lambda. And the correct answer is option 4. AWS Lambda. Explanation. AWS Lambda is an event-driven service. For example, you can configure an Amazon S3 bucket with event notifications that trigger an AWS Lambda function when data is uploaded to an S3 bucket. AWS Lambda is the correct answer. Amazon EC2 is incorrect, as this is not an event-driven service. AWS Elastic Beanstalk is incorrect, as this is not an event-driven service. Amazon Lumberyard is incorrect, as this is a game engine service. Question 136. Which type of scaling does Amazon EC2 auto-scaling provide? Now the options are: Option 1. Incremental. Option 2. Vertical. Option 3. Linear. Option 4. Horizontal. And The correct answer is option 4, horizontal. Explanation. Amazon EC2 auto-scaling scales horizontally by adding, launching and terminating EC2 instances based on actual demand for your application. Horizontal is the correct answer. Vertical is incorrect, as EC2 auto-scaling scales horizontally. Linear is incorrect, as this is not the way auto-scaling works. Incremental is incorrect, as this is not the way auto-scaling works. Next question. A web application running on AWS has been received malicious request from the same set of IP addresses. Which AWS service can help secure the application and block the malicious traffic? Now the options are: Option 1, AWS WAF. Option 2, Amazon SNS. Option 3, Amazon Guard Duty. Option 4, AWS IAM. And the correct answer is option 1, AWS WAF. Explanation. The AWS Web Application Firewall is used to protect web applications or APIs against common web exploits. Rules can be created that block traffic based on source IP address. AWS WAF is the correct answer. AWS IAM is incorrect. The Identity and Access Management Service is used for creating users, groups, roles, and policies. It is not used for controlling network access. Amazon Guard Duty is incorrect. This is a service that analyzes your resources using anomaly detection and machine learning. It can alert and trigger other tools to take action, but it is not a network firewall service. Amazon SNS is incorrect, as this service is used for sending notifications using a publisher or subscriber model. Next question. Which type of elastic load balancer operates at the TCP connection level? Now the options are: Option 1, Classic Load Balancer CLB. Option 2, Network Load Balancer NLB. Option 3, Amazon Route 53 Load Balancer. Option 4, Application Load Balancer ALB. And the correct answer is option 2, Network Load Balancer NLB. Explanation. A network load balancer functions at the fourth layer of the Open Systems Interconnection OSI model. NLB is direct connections based on information at the TCP connection level. Network Load Balancer NLB is the correct answer. Application Load Balancer ALB is incorrect. ALBs process traffic at the application level, layer 7, based on information in the HTTP or HTTPS headers. Classic Load Balancer CLB is incorrect. CLBs process traffic at the TCP, SSL, HTTP and HTTPS levels, layer 4 and 7. Amazon Route 53 load balancer is incorrect. There is no feature called a load balancer that is associated with Route 53. You can perform a type of load balancing using multi-value answer routing. Next question. How can a systems administrator specify a script to be run on an EC2 instance during launch? Now the options are: Option 1, metadata. Option 2, run command. Option 3, user data. Option 4, AWS config. And the correct answer is option 3, user data. Explanation. When you launch an instance in Amazon EC2, you have the option of passing user data to the instance that can be used to perform common automated configuration tasks and even run scripts after the instance starts. You can pass two types of user data to Amazon EC2: shell scripts and cloud init directives. User data is data that is supplied by the user at instance launch in the form of a script. User data is limited to 16 KB. User data and metadata are not encrypted. User data is the correct answer. Metadata is incorrect, as metadata retrieves information about the instance. Run command is incorrect, as this operates separately to the launch process. AWS config is incorrect, as this service stores configuration information relating to AWS services. Next question. Based on the shared responsibility model, which of the following security and compliance tasks in AWS responsible for? Now the options are: Option 1. Updating operating systems. Option 2. Updating Amazon EC2 host firmware. Option 3. Encrypting data in transit. Option 4. Granting access to individuals and services. And the correct answer is Option 2. Updating Amazon EC2 host firmware. Explanation: AWS are responsible for updating Amazon EC2 host firmware. This is considered security of the cloud. All other tasks are the responsibility of the customer. Updating Amazon EC2 host firmware is the correct answer. Granting access to individuals and services is incorrect. This is something a customer must perform to control access to the resources they use on AWS. Encrypting data in transit is incorrect. Encryption at rest and in transit is a customer responsibility. Updating operating systems is incorrect. Customers are responsible for patching operating systems on Amazon EC2. AWS are only responsible for the host servers. Next question. How can a company facilitate the sharing of data over private connections between two accounts they own within a region? Now the options are: Option 1. Configure matching CIDR address ranges. Option 2. Create an internal ELB. Option 3. Create a subnet peering connection. Option 4. Create a VPC peering connection. And the correct answer is Option 4. Create a VPC peering connection. Explanation: a VPC peering connection helps you to facilitate the transfer of data. For example, if you have more than one AWS account, you can pair the VPCs across those accounts to create a file sharing network. You can also use a VPC peering connection to allow other VPCs to access resources you have in one of your VPCs. Create a VPC peering connection is the correct answer. Create an internal ELB is incorrect. An internal ELB will not help you to transfer data between accounts. Create a subnet peering connection is incorrect. You cannot peer subnets. Configure matching CIDR address ranges is incorrect. Configuring matching CIDR address ranges will not mean you can route between accounts. Also, you cannot peer with an account with a matching or overlapping address range. Next question. Which of the following are not features of AWS IAM? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. Identity Federation. Option 2. Shared access to your AWS account. Option 3. PCI DSS compliance. Option 4. Log on using local user accounts. Option 5. Charged for what you use. And the correct answer is Option 4. Log on using local user accounts. And Option 5. Charged for what you use. Explanation: you cannot use IAM to create local user accounts on any system. You are also not charged for what you use. IAM is free to use. The other options are all features of AWS IAM. Log on using local user accounts is the correct answer. Charged for what you use is the correct answer. Shared access to your AWS account is incorrect. Identity Federation is incorrect. PCI DSS compliance is incorrect. Next question. Which of the authentication options below can be used to authenticate using AWS APIs? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. Key pairs. Option 2. Server passwords. Option 3. Access keys. Option 4. Server certificates. Option 5. Security groups. And the correct answer is Option 3. Access keys. And Option 4. Server certificates. Explanation: access keys are long-term credentials for an IAM user or the AWS account root user. You can use access keys to sign programmatic requests to the AWS CLI or AWS API directly or using the AWS SDK. Server certificates are SSL or TLS certificates that you can use to authenticate with some AWS services. Access keys is the correct answer. Server certificates is also a correct answer. Key pairs is incorrect. Key pairs are used for encrypting logon information when accessing EC2 instances. Server passwords is incorrect. A server password cannot be used to authenticate with an API. Security groups is incorrect. Security groups are an instance-level firewall used for controlling access to AWS resources. Next question. Under the shared responsibility model, which of the following tasks are the responsibility of the AWS customer? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. Ensuring that users have received security training in the use of AWS services. Option 2. Ensuring that hardware is disposed of properly. Option 3. Ensuring that AWS NTP servers are set to correct time. Option 4. Ensuring that access to data centers is restricted. Option 5. Ensuring that application data is encrypted at rest. And the correct answer is Option 1. Ensuring that users have received security training in the use of AWS services. And Option 5. Ensuring that application data is encrypted at rest. Explanation. As a customer on AWS, you take responsibility for encrypting data. This includes encrypting data at rest and data in transit. It's also a customer's responsibility to properly train their staff in security best practices and procedures for the AWS services they use. Ensuring that application data is encrypted at rest is a correct answer. Ensuring that users have received security training in the use of AWS services is also a correct answer. Ensuring that AWS NTP servers are set to the correct time is incorrect. Network Time Protocol NTP servers are an AWS responsibility. Ensuring that access to data centers is restricted is incorrect, as this is security of the cloud and is an AWS responsibility. Ensuring that hardware is disposed of properly is incorrect, as this is an AWS responsibility. Next question. Which AWS service is designed to be used for operational analytics? Now the options are: Option 1. Amazon QuickSight. Option 2. Amazon Elasticsearch Service. Option 3. Amazon Athena. Option 4. Amazon EMR. And the correct answer is Option 2. Amazon Elasticsearch Service. Explanation. Amazon Elasticsearch Service is involved with operational analytics such as application monitoring, log analytics, and clickstream analytics. Amazon Elasticsearch Service allows you to search, explore, filter, aggregate, and visualize your data in near real time. Amazon Elasticsearch is the correct answer. Amazon EMR is incorrect. For big data processing using the Spark and Hadoop frameworks, Amazon EMR provides a managed service for processing vast amounts of data. Amazon Athena is incorrect. Amazon Athena is used to analyze data directly in S3 and Glacier using standard SQL queries. Amazon QuickSight is incorrect. Amazon QuickSight provides a fast, cloud-powered business analytics service that makes it easy to build stunning visualizations and rich dashboards that can be accessed from any browser or mobile device. Next question. What is an example of scaling vertically? Now the options are: Option 1. AWS Autoscaling, adding more EC2 instances. Option 2. AWS Lambda, adding concurrently executing functions. Option 3. Increasing the instance size with Amazon RDS. Option 4. Adding read replicas to an Amazon RDS database. And the correct answer is Option 3. Increasing the instance size with Amazon RDS. Explanation. A good example of vertical scaling is changing the instance size of an EC2 instance or RDS database to one with more CPU and RAM. All of the other options are examples of scaling horizontally. Increasing the instance size with Amazon RDS is the correct answer. AWS Autoscaling, adding more EC2 instances, is incorrect. AWS Lambda, adding concurrently executing functions, is incorrect. Adding read replicas to an Amazon RDS database is incorrect. Next question. A company is using the AWS CLI and programmatic access of AWS resources from its on-premises network. What is a mandatory requirement in this scenario? Now the options are: Option 1. Using Amazon API Gateway. Option 2. Using an Amazon EC2 key pair. Option 3. Using an AWS Direct Connect connection. Option 4. Using an AWS access key and a secret key. And the correct answer is option 4. Using an AWS access key and a secret key. Explanation. Access keys are long-term credentials for an IAM user or the AWS account root user. You can use access keys to sign programmatic requests to the AWS CLI or AWS API, directly or using the AWS SDK. Access keys consist of two parts, an access key ID and a secret access key. Like a username and password, you must use both the access key ID and secret access key together to authenticate your request. Using an AWS access key and a secret key is the correct answer. Using an AWS Direct Connect connection is incorrect. It is not a requirement that you use a Direct Connect connection. You can access public services via the API using the internet. For private services, you can use Direct Connect, a VPN, or a Bastion host. Using Amazon API Gateway is incorrect. You do not need API Gateway for programmatic access to the AWS API. Using an Amazon EC2 key pair is incorrect. A key pair is used to securely access EC2 resources and should not be confused with access keys. Next question. Which pricing model will interrupt a running Amazon EC2 instance if capacity becomes temporarily unavailable? Now the options are: Option 1. Convertible reserved instances. Option 2. Spot instances. Option 3. Standard reserved instances. Option 4. On-demand instances. And the correct answer is Option 2. Spot instances. Explanation. Amazon EC2 spot instances let you take advantage of unused EC2 capacity in the AWS cloud. Spot instances are available at up to a 90% discount compared to on-demand prices. When AWS need to reclaim the capacity, you get a 2-minute warning and then your instances are terminated. With all other pricing models, your instances will not be terminated by AWS once they are running. Spot instances is the correct answer. On-demand instances is incorrect. Standard reserved instances is incorrect. Convertible reserved instances is incorrect. Next question. According to the AWS well-architected framework, what change management steps should be taken to achieve reliability in the AWS cloud? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. Use AWS config to generate an inventory of AWS resources. Option 2. Use AWS Cloud Trail to record AWS API calls into an auditable log file. Option 3. Use AWS Certificate Manager to create a catalog of approved services. Option 4. Use service limits to prevent users from creating or making changes to AWS resources. Option 5. Use Amazon Guard Duty to record API activity to an S3 bucket. And the correct answer is Option 1. Use AWS config to generate an inventory of AWS resources. And Option 2. Use AWS Cloud Trail to record AWS API calls into an auditable log file. Explanation. AWS config can be used to track the configuration state of your resources and how the state has changed over time. With Cloud Trail, you can audit who made what API calls on what resources at what time. This can help with identifying changes that cause reliability issues. Use AWS config to generate an inventory of AWS resources is the correct answer. Use AWS Cloud Trail to record AWS API calls into an auditable log files is the correct answer. Use service limits to prevent users from creating or making changes to AWS resources is incorrect. Service limits result in a maximum limit for launching resources, but you can still make changes to existing resources, so long as you don't exceed the limit. Use AWS Certificate Manager to create a catalog of approved services is incorrect. Certificate Manager is used for issuing and managing SSL or TLS certificates. It does not maintain a catalog of approved services. Use Amazon Guard Duty to record API activity to an S3 bucket is incorrect. Guard duty does not record API activity to an S3 bucket. Next question. Which of the statements below does not characterize cloud computing? Now the options are: Option 1. With cloud computing, you get to benefit from massive economies of scale. Option 2. Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute power. Option 3. Cloud computing allows you to swap variable expense for capital expense. Option 4. With cloud computing, you can increase your speed and agility. And the correct answer is Option 3. Cloud computing allows you to swap variable expense for capital expense. Explanation. Cloud computing is not a one-off capital expense. It is an ongoing operating expense. The caveat to this is that if you purchase reserved capacity, you have an option to partially or fully pay upfront. However, it is still an operating cost as you do not own and depreciate the assets. Cloud computing allows you to swap variable expense for capital expense is the correct answer. Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute power is incorrect, as this is a valid statement. With cloud computing, you get to benefit from massive economies of scale is incorrect, as this is a valid statement. With cloud computing, you can increase your speed and agility is incorrect, as this is a valid statement. Question 151. Which AWS support plans provide 24/7 access to customer service? Now, the options are: Option 1. All plans. Option 2. Business. Option 3. Basic. Option 4. Developer. And the correct answer is Option 1. All plans. Explanation. All support plans provide 24/7 access to customer service, documentation, white papers, and support forums. All plans is the correct answer. Basic is incorrect. Business is incorrect. Developer is also incorrect. Next question. Which AWS Glacier data access option retrieves data from an archive in 1 to 5 minutes? Now the options are: Option 1. Expedited. Option 2. Express. Option 3. Accelerated. Option 4. Standard. And the correct answer is Option 1. Expedited. Explanation. Expedited retrievals allow you to quickly access your data when occasional urgent requests for a subset of archives are required. For all but the largest archives, 250 MB plus, data accessed using expedited retrievals are typically made available within 1 to 5 minutes. Expedited is the correct answer. Standard is incorrect. Standard takes 3 to 5 hours. Express is incorrect, as this is not a retrieval option. Accelerated is incorrect, as this is not a retrieval option. Next question. Which of the following statements about AWS pay-as-you-go pricing model is correct? Now the options are: Option 1. It reduces operational expenditures. Option 2. It requires payment upfront for AWS services. Option 3. It is relevant only for Amazon EC2, Amazon S3, and Amazon DynamoDB. Option 4. It results in reduced capital expenditures. And the correct answer is Option 4. It results in reduced capital expenditures. Explanation. The pay-as-you-go pricing model means you only pay for the services and consumption you actually use. You are charged for compute, storage, and outbound data transfer. This model reduces capital expenditure as you pay a monthly bill operational expenditure. It results in reduced capital expenditures is the correct answer. It requires payment upfront for AWS services is incorrect. You can pay upfront for some services such as EC2 reserved instances to get better pricing, but most services are offered on a consumption basis. It is relevant only for Amazon EC2, Amazon S3, and Amazon DynamoDB is incorrect. This is not true. Most AWS services are offered on a pay-as-you-go pricing model. It reduces operational expenditures is incorrect. This is not true. It reduces capital expenditures. Next question. You are evaluating AWS services that can assist with creating scalable application environments. Which of the statements below best describes the Elastic Load Balancer service? Now the options are: Option 1. Automatically distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets, such as Amazon EC2 instances, containers, and IP addresses. Option 2 helps you ensure that you have the correct number of Amazon EC2 instances available to handle the load for your application. Option 3 a network service that provides an alternative to using the internet to connect customers' on-premise sites to AWS. Option 4 a highly available and scalable domain name system DNS service. And the correct answer is option 1. Automatically distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets, such as Amazon EC2 instances, containers, and IP addresses. Explanation: Elastic load balancing automatically distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets, such as Amazon EC2 instances, containers, and IP addresses. Elastic load balancing provides fault tolerance for application by automatically balancing traffic across targets, Amazon EC2 instances, containers, and IP addresses, and availability zones while ensuring only healthy targets receive traffic. Automatically distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets, such as Amazon EC2 instances, containers, and IP addresses is the correct answer. Helps you ensure that you have the correct number of Amazon EC2 instances available to handle the load for your application is incorrect, as this describes EC2 auto scaling. A highly available and scalable domain name system DNS service is incorrect, as this describes Amazon Route 53. A network service that provides an alternative to using the internet to connect customers' on-premise sites to AWS is incorrect, as this describes AWS Direct Connect. Next question. Which of the following acts as a virtual firewall at the Amazon EC2 instance level to control traffic for one or more instances? Now the options are: Option 1 route table, Option 2 security groups, Option 3 network access control list ACL, Option 4 virtual private gateways VPG, and the correct answer is Option 2 security groups. Explanation: A security group is an instance-level firewall that can be used to control traffic that reaches ingress or inbound and is sent out from egress or outbound your EC2 instances. Rules are created for inbound or outbound traffic. A security group can be attached to multiple EC2 instances. Security groups is the correct answer. Network access control list ACL is incorrect, as this is subnet level firewall. You do not attach a network ACL to an instance. You attach it to a subnet. Virtual private gateways VPG is incorrect. A VPG is the Amazon side of an AWS managed VPN. Route table is incorrect, as this is not a firewall but a table of routes for directing traffic between subnets within a VPC. Next question. What is the name for the top-level container used to hold objects within Amazon S3? Now the options are: Option 1 directory, Option 2 folder, Option 3 instance store, Option 4 bucket, and the correct answer is Option 4 bucket. Explanation: Amazon S3 is an object-based storage system. You upload your objects into buckets. Bucket is the correct answer. Folder is incorrect. Though S3 is a flat structure, not hierarchical, folders can be used for grouping objects. However, this is not the top-level container. Directory is incorrect. Directories are usually associated with file systems rather than object-based storage system. Instance store is incorrect. An instance store is a type of ephemeral block-based storage service available to EC2 instances. Next question. What methods are available for scaling an Amazon RDS database? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. You can scale out automatically with EC2 auto scaling. Option 2. You can scale up by increasing storage capacity. Option 3. You can scale up by moving to a larger instance size. Option 4. You can scale up automatically using AWS auto scaling. Option 5. You can scale out by implementing elastic load balancing. And the correct answer is Option 2. You can scale up by increasing storage capacity. And Option 3. You can scale up by moving to a larger instance size. Explanation. To handle a higher load in your database, you can vertically scale up your master database with a simple push of a button. There are currently over 18 instance sizes that you can choose from when resizing your RDS MySQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, Oracle, or Microsoft SQL Server instance. For Amazon Aurora, you have 5 memory-optimized instance sizes to choose from. The wide selection of instance types allows you to choose the best resources and cost for your database server. In addition to scaling your master database vertically, you can also improve the performance of a read-heavy database by using read replicas to horizontally scale your database. RDS MySQL, PostgreSQL, and MariaDB can have up to 5 read replicas, and Amazon Aurora can have up to 15 read replicas. You can scale up by moving to a larger instance size is the correct answer. You can scale up by increasing storage capacity is also a correct answer. You can scale out automatically with EC2 auto scaling is incorrect. You cannot use EC2 auto scaling with Amazon RDS. You can scale out by implementing elastic load balancing is incorrect. You cannot use elastic load balancing with RDS. You can scale up automatically using AWS auto scaling is incorrect. You cannot use EC2 auto scaling or AWS application auto scaling to automatically scale your RDS database. EC2 auto scaling is involved with launching additional instances, scale out, and this is not a method of scaling an RDS database. Application auto scaling is involved with automatically adjusting the assignment of resources to the database, which is not supported with RDS. You can do it with DynamoDB. Next question. What are the advantages of running a database service such as Amazon RDS in the cloud versus deploying on-premise? Select 2 options. Now the options are: Option 1. You can use any database software you like, allowing greater flexibility. Option 2. There are no costs for replicating data between DBs in different data centers or regions. Option 3. High availability is easier to implement due to built-in functionality for deploying read replicas and multi-AZ. Option 4. You have full control of the operating system and can install your own operational tools. Option 5. Scalability is improved as it is quicker to implement and there is an abundance of capacity. And the correct answer is Option 3. High availability is easier to implement due to built-in functionality for deploying read replicas and multi-AZ. And Option 5. Scalability is improved as it is quicker to implement and there is an abundance of capacity. Explanation. The advantages of using Amazon RDS include being able to easily scale by increasing your instance type without having to go through a long procurement cycle for getting new hardware or worrying about whether capacity exists on your existing private cloud infrastructure. You can also implement fault tolerance and scalability features through multi-AZ and read replicas easily. With Amazon RDS, you don't have control of the operating system and you cannot use any database software you like, as you are restricted to a list of several engines. There are costs for replicating data between AZs and regions, so this must be taken into account in any cost analysis. Scalability is improved as it is quicker to implement and there is an abundance of capacity is a correct answer. High availability is easier to implement due to built-in functionality for deploying read replicas and multi-AZ is also a correct answer. You have full control of the operating system and can install your own operational tools is incorrect. You can use any database software you like, allowing greater flexibility is incorrect. There are no cost for replicating data between DBs in different data centers or regions is incorrect. Next question. What advantages does the AWS cloud provide in relation to cost? Select 2 options. Now the options are: Option 1. Fine-grained billing. Option 2. Itemized power cost. Option 3. One-off payments for on-demand resources. Option 4. Ability to turn off resources and not pay for them. Option 5. Enterprise licensing discounts. And the correct answer is Option 1. Fine-grained billing, and Option 4. Ability to turn off resources and not pay for them. Explanation. With the AWS Cloud, you get fine-grained billing and can turn off resources you are not using easily and not have to pay for them. Pay for what you use model. Fine-grained billing is a correct answer. Ability to turn off resources and not pay for them is also a correct answer. One-off payments for on-demand resources is incorrect. You do not get the option for one-off payments for on-demand resources. You can for reserved instances which can be paid all upfront. Enterprise licensing discounts is incorrect. You do not get enterprise licensing discounts from AWS and you do not pay anything for power as the cost is built in. Itemized power cost is incorrect. You do not get any power cost on your bill. Next question. Which AWS technology can be referred to as a virtual hard disk in the cloud? Now the options are: Option 1. Amazon S3 bucket. Option 2. Amazon EFS file system. Option 3. Amazon ENI. Option 4. Amazon EBS volume. And the correct answer is Option 4. Amazon EBS volume. Explanation. An Amazon Elastic Block Store EBS volume is often described as a virtual hard disk in the cloud. EBS volumes are block-level storage volumes that are attached to EC2 instances, much as you would attach a virtual hard disk to a virtual machine in a virtual infrastructure. Amazon EBS volume is the correct answer. Amazon EFS file system is incorrect. An Amazon EFS file system is a file-level storage system that is accessed using the NFS protocol. File systems are mounted at the file rather than the block level and are therefore not similar to a virtual hard disk. Amazon S3 bucket is incorrect. Amazon S3 is an object-level storage service and is not mounted or attached. You use a REST API over HTTPs to access objects in an object store. Amazon ENI is incorrect. An Amazon Elastic Network Interface is a networking construct, not a storage construct. Next question. What type of cloud computing service type do AWS Elastic Beanstalk and Amazon RDS correspond to? Now the options are: Option 1. IaaS. Option 2. SaaS. Option 3. Hybrid. Option 4. PaaS. And the correct answer is Option 4. PaaS. Explanation. Both Elastic Beanstalk and RDS are services that are managed at the platform level, meaning you don't need to manage the infrastructure level yourself. Therefore, tasks like OS management and patching are performed for you. PaaS is the correct answer. IaaS is incorrect. IaaS is a model where the underlying hardware platform and hypervisor are managed for you, and you are delivered tools and interfaces for working with operating system instances. SaaS is incorrect. SaaS is a model where the whole stack is managed for you right up to the application and you are delivered working software that you can customize and populate with data. Hybrid is incorrect. Hybrid is a type of cloud delivery model in which you consume both public and private cloud and connect the two together. Next question. What is the most efficient way to establish network connectivity from on-premises to multiple VPCs in different AWS regions? Now the options are: Option 1. Use AWS Direct Connect. Option 2. Use AWS Client VPN. Option 3. Use AWS VPN. Option 4. Use an AWS Transit Gateway. And the correct answer is Option 4. Use an AWS Transit Gateway. Explanation. AWS Transit Gateway is a service that enables customers to connect their Amazon Virtual Private Clouds VPCs and their on-premises networks to a single gateway. With AWS Transit Gateway, you only have to create and manage a single connection from the central gateway into each Amazon VPC on-premises data center or remote office across your network. Transit Gateway acts as a hub that controls how traffic is routed among all the connected networks, which act like spokes. Use an AWS Transit Gateway is the correct answer. Use AWS Direct Connect is incorrect, as this only connects you to a single Amazon VPC, not multiple VPCs in different regions. Use AWS VPN is incorrect. as this is a point-to-point connection between an on-premises location and a single Amazon VPC. Use AWS Client VPN is incorrect, as this service allows end users to connect to AWS using a VPN client. Next question. Which AWS service provides the ability to detect inadvertent data, leaks of personally identifiable information PII, and user credential data? Now the options are: Option 1, Amazon Inspector. Option 2, Amazon Guard Duty. Option 3, AWS Shield. Option 4, Amazon Macie. And the correct answer is Option 4, Amazon Macie. Explanation. Amazon Macie is a fully managed data security and data privacy service that uses machine learning and pattern matching to discover and protect your sensitive data in Amazon S3. Macie applies machine learning and pattern matching techniques to the Amazon S3 buckets you select to identify and alert you to sensitive data, such as personally identifiable information PII. Amazon Macie is the correct answer. Amazon Guard Duty is incorrect. This is a service that analyzes your resources using anomaly detection and machine learning. It does not detect personally identifiable information. Amazon Inspector is incorrect. Amazon Inspector automatically assesses applications for exposure, vulnerabilities, and deviations from best practices. It does not detect personally identifiable information. AWS Shield is incorrect. This service is involved with protecting your resources of distributed denial of service DDoS attacks. Next question. Which HTTP code indicates a successful upload of an object to Amazon S3? Now the options are: Option 1, 500. Option 2, 400. Option 3, 300. Option 4, 200. And the correct answer is Option 4, 200. Explanation. HTTP response status codes indicate whether a specific HTTP request has been successfully completed. A HTTP 200 code indicates a successful upload. A HTTP 300 code indicates a redirection. A HTTP 400 code indicates a client error. A HTTP 500 code indicates a server error. 200 is the correct answer. 300 is incorrect. 400 is incorrect. 500 is also incorrect option. Next question. Which AWS database service is schema-less and can be scaled dynamically without incurring downtime? Now the options are: Option 1, Amazon Aurora. Option 2, Amazon Redshift. Option 3, Amazon DynamoDB. Option 4, Amazon RDS. And the correct answer is Option 3, Amazon DynamoDB. Explanation. Amazon DynamoDB is a fully managed NoSQL database service that provides fast and predictable performance with seamless scalability. Push-button scaling means that you can scale the DB at any time without incurring downtime. DynamoDB is schema-less. All other options are SQL type of databases and therefore have a schema. They also rely on EC2 instances, so cannot be scaled dynamically without incurring downtime. You have to change instance type. Amazon DynamoDB is the correct answer. Amazon RDS is incorrect. Amazon Aurora is incorrect. Amazon Redshift is also incorrect option. Thank you for watching this video. Buy our AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner CLF-C01 premium questions with 50% off. Check link in the description.